Hey guys, what's up? I am Tim Patrone, and a couple weeks ago I made a video about being young with dentures, um, and since then I've seen quite a few more videos on YouTube uh, about dentures and specifically young people with dentures, but there are also a lot of videos that just focus on anyone with dentures, some of the issues that people are concerned with before getting dentures, some of the things that people have problems with or issues with after getting dentures and stuff. So I decided to make a follow-up video just so I could maybe, touch base a little on some of the things that I didn't cover in my first video. Now, just so for those of you who haven't or didn't watch my first video, I am 35 years old. I got my upper dentures when I was 30, and the lowers I got just about a year ago. So when I was 34. Now that's pretty young. And again, for those of you who didn't watch my first video, the reason I had to get dentures is just bad luck, more than anything else. I'm left to assume that it was just genetic. I never had any like drug problems or anything, so that wasn't the cause. I don't know if it could have been hereditary. I was adopted at birth, and I don't know anything about my biological family. So, yeah, but I always took very good care of my teeth growing up. I went to the dentist regularly, brushed and flossed and all that. Same, I have a younger brother who's just a year younger than me. We're really close to the same age. And, he did all of the exact same things I did, only he actually didn't quite take as, much care of his teeth as I did when we were kids. I mean, he was the type that was just sort of a typical little boy, like he just never wanted to brush his teeth, never cared about being clean or anything like that. I was kind of the opposite. I was the I don't know. I don't really know what kind of word to describe it, but I didn't really like getting dirty all that much, and I did take very good care of my teeth and everything. My brother has always had perfect teeth. I have always had terrible teeth, despite the fact that I took better care of my teeth than he did. Really wasn't fair, but that's just life, I mean, what are you gonna do? But anyway, yeah, so I really can't, other than to assume that it's genetic, I really can't pinpoint any sort of cause for my bad teeth. Now, I do drink, or did, I should say, drink a lot of Mountain Dew, which, as most of you know, is probably one of the most unhealthy types of soda you can drink. All soda is unhealthy. It's all full of sugar and it's all bad for your teeth. But Mountain Dew is among the worst of them. It's pretty bad. And when I was younger, especially in high school, I drank a ton of it, and I would just sort of sip on it, which apparently I didn't realize it at the time, but apparently, according to one of the dentists I've had, sipping on it is a lot worse than like chugging it, I mean, I would just sort of sip on a soda all day long, and as opposed to, just chugging one in a few minutes and then having another one later or whatever. Because when you're just sipping on it like that, the sugars and stuff are in contact with your teeth more and for a longer period. So apparently it's just worse for your teeth that way. Now I also drink coffee, and I used to drink a lot of coffee. Now I only drink about 1 cup of coffee in the morning, but I used to drink an entire pot in the first part of the day, and then I would drink coffee again in the evening before bed. I'd drink like another pot of coffee in the evening, and it was ridiculous. And I would put a bunch of creamer in it, and the creamer is pretty sugary. And then coffee in general is bad for your teeth, so there was that too. But though I'm 100% positive those things contributed to my bad teeth, they definitely were not the cause, because I had problems with my teeth long before I started doing any of those things. And even after I quit or seriously cut back, now I don't drink nearly as much soda or coffee. But my teeth were still getting worse and worse and worse, despite having cut all of the, sugary stuff out of my diet. So, anyway, so that wasn't really it either. Now, moving on, I want to get to some issues that I've seen people discussing a lot online, and that is, I think one of the toughest decisions for anyone who is preparing to get dentures is deciding whether or not to go with the conventional dentures or the immediate dentures. Now, if you don't know the difference, conventional dentures, basically the process involved is that you get your teeth extracted, then you have to wait at least 8 weeks, which means you have to go without teeth for 8 weeks while your gums heal, and then they will fit you for your denture, and at that point you will be healed up enough that the dentures should fit pretty well when you get them. Now, immediate dentures are when you have your teeth extracted and they fit the denture right then and there, so you don't have to go without teeth at all. But the catch with that one is that they're not going to fit perfectly right away, because it does take a very long time for your gums to heal, and your mouth will change pretty drastically over that time. Your gums will change, because at first they'll be really swollen, but then the swelling goes down, they start to heal up, and they just completely change shape. And a lot of people are just concerned that it's just going to be too uncomfortable to have a denture in while your gums are still healing, and if the denture doesn't totally fit right or whatever. But then on the flip side, there are a lot of people, like I was, who are too concerned about going without teeth for 8 weeks. I was pretty embarrassed about it, especially being as young as I was. Like when I got my upper denture, I was 30 years old, and I just there was no way I was gonna let people see me without my teeth. So I decided to go with the immediate denture. And I'm very happy that I did, honestly. The top ones really weren't bad. There wasn't too much of an adjustment period. Now, you also have to keep in mind that it's not just the look of being without teeth and the embarrassment of it or whatever when you go the conventional route and don't get the denture right away. You also are not going to be able to eat anything but like soft foods and liquids while you have no teeth. And your gums are going to be sore, so you're not even really going to be able to, clamp down on anything with your gums, because that'll just hurt. Now, with the immediate denture, the first few days I couldn't eat anything unless it was soft or whatever. I pretty much just ate like yogurt and soup and stuff like that. But honestly, it was only for a few days. I'd say after the first week, I was eating, like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and, stuff that's not real hard to bite into, but that you still have to bite into. It's good, like bread and things like that. Those things are soft, but yeah. Really, it was 5 years ago, so I don't remember every detail of it. But I don't remember it being all that difficult adjusting to eating after I got my upper denture. Like I said, the first week there was you know, enough soreness that I couldn't really bite into anything. But after that, it wasn't that difficult. Um, and I didn't have to have the upper denture adjusted all that much. I mean, it did take several months for the gums to fully heal, and there was there were times when the denture was a little uncomfortable over the first few weeks. But I think about 3 months in, I went in for a soft realign, and that pretty much just did the trick. They've honestly, I haven't even had any realigns done to them since the soft realign, which I am going in next month to have both the uppers and lowers completely redone. Even though they fit perfectly, I need a hard realign done on both of them. But anyway, yeah, it's been 5 years since I had that, and they have fit perfectly since then. Since, you know, I got the soft realign done, the uppers, I've had no problems at all whatsoever with the uppers. Now the lowers, like I said, I just got those about a year ago. That was I also did the immediate denture. That was a little bit more of an adjustment than the uppers. I had to go into the dentist like once a week, I think, for the first like 3 or 4 months, and just have some minor adjustments done. And basically all he did is take a little tool that's kind of like a Dremel tool and just sort of files away at the parts that were causing me pain or discomfort. And he would just do that. It usually was really quick and easy. I'd be in there for like 5 minutes, and that was it. But yeah, my dentist was very good about making sure that they fit as comfortably as they possibly could. He encouraged me to come in once or even twice a week if I needed to have them adjusted. You know, he didn't want me being in any sort of discomfort at all. So yeah, I mean, it took a few months before they finally reached a point where they truly fit me perfectly. But again, with like eating and stuff, it wasn't that difficult. I mean, even from the first week that I got the lowers in, I was eating solid foods after the first few days. I mean, it definitely took a few days before I could start eating solid food, but yeah, I think no more than a week, same as the uppers, before I was eating solid foods. Probably it was probably 2 or 3 more weeks after that before I could eat tougher foods like meats and stuff like chicken. But it definitely still didn't take very long. So yeah, I mean, the disadvantage to the immediate denture is that it's not going to fit comfortably at first. Now, if you might get lucky like me and have it not take very long before they fit comfortably after having them adjusted a few times and stuff. You may not get lucky. It may take a lot longer, you know. You may have a dentist or a denturist that just isn't all that great at what they do, you know. I mean, I don't know. Not everybody has the same experience, but I'm definitely glad that I went with the immediate denture. A lot of people are concerned about cost. Apparently immediate dentures cost a little bit more than conventional. I don't know, because I didn't have to pay for my dentures out of pocket. My uppers were done pro bono by a dentist. I had basically just emailed all of the dentists in my small hometown, telling them my story, how my bad teeth were affecting my life, and pretty significantly. I mean, I was looking for work and I wasn't having any luck, and I truly believe that my teeth had a lot to do with it. So yes, I had one dentist offer to do the dentures for free, so I didn't have to worry about that. And by the time I got my lowers, I had insurance, dental insurance, through the state, through, Obamacare or whatever. So, yeah, I know a lot of people criticize Obama for Obamacare, and it's not a perfect system. It isn't great for everyone. It's a system that is definitely good for some people, but it's been detrimental to other people. So yeah, for me it was a very good thing. I was very grateful for Obamacare because I hadn't had insurance for years, and I had not just my teeth but other medical concerns and stuff that had just gone untreated because I didn't have any sort of insurance. So I've been able to get all of those things dealt with because of Obamacare. So yeah, anyway, as far as cost goes, I don't really know. I can't really discuss that or make any suggestions or give any advice on it because I don't know what the cost difference is. I just know that as far as just personal preference, I'm glad that I got the immediate denture. I know other people who went with the conventional method, and they seem to be very happy they did it that way. So I don't know if anybody can really say which is better based on personal experience, because most people just went one way or the other. They haven't experienced both ways. Now I'm sure some people maybe did conventional on the uppers and immediate on the lowers, or vice versa, whatever, and those people could probably tell you which worked better for them. I don't know. But yeah, for me, I really do not think that getting the immediate denture was a mistake in any way at all. I mean, I was definitely grateful for it. If I had gone the conventional way, I wouldn't have been able to eat solid food for at least 8 weeks. That's 2 months. Rather than, the week or two that it took when I had the immediate denture. Plus, I didn't have to worry about people seeing me without teeth or whatever. I didn't have to worry about the embarrassment of it. I may have had to deal with a little bit of extra discomfort, and when I say a little bit, I mean a little bit. It really was not significant. I can't imagine it being any bit, any more significant than someone who went the conventional route. It wasn't bad. So personally, I recommend the immediate denture. If you're concerned about being able to eat solid foods, eat somewhat normally, shortly after getting the denture, or if you're worried about people seeing you without teeth. I mean, basically, a lot of dentists, like if you ask your dentist, well, what's the difference between the two? Your dentist is going to give you like worst case scenarios. Your dentist is going to say, okay, well, with the immediates, they're not going to fit. They're going to be uncomfortable. You're going to have them adjusted all the time. Because that's what, the dentist has to give you the worst case, basically. Because if he gives you the best case scenario, and then your experience is bad, then that's kind of on him, But if he gives you the worst case scenario and your experience is good, then that makes him look really good. So, I mean, whatever. So yeah, if you ask your dentist, that's probably what he's going to do. He's going to give you a worst case scenario when it comes to getting the immediate denture. Kind of the same with the conventional. He's going to say, okay, well, you're going to have to go without your teeth for 2 months, which means you're not going to be able to eat solid foods and blah, blah, blah. Whatever, But based on somebody who's been through it, I am definitely glad that I went with the immediates and didn't have to go without my teeth for 2 months. I know that I started eating solid foods after the first couple weeks, so I didn't have to wait a couple months. So whatever. But I also had very good dentists that were very, very concerned about how my dentures fit and how comfortable they were. Both dentists that did the upper and lower were very, very dedicated, I think, to making sure that I was happy with the denture. and I'm very happy with them. Both the uppers and lowers fit perfectly still. I can eat anything, like steak, whatever. Can't really do jerky all that well. I mean, I can tear it into small pieces and eat it that way, but that's really the only thing that I've come across that I haven't really been able to eat. If anything, it makes eating easier because you don't have to worry about sensitive teeth. Eating ice cream is so much more enjoyable now because you don't have to worry about the temperature, the cold. Yeah. So yeah, definitely I think it's made eating easier for me. Now the next thing I want to discuss is adhesives. A lot of people have talked about how they really don't like using the adhesives, but sometimes they have to because the denture just won't stay in or whatever. I definitely use adhesives. I use adhesives every day. Sometimes I have to reapply at some point in the day. Usually I don't. Usually it's just once, in the morning, put the teeth in, fine all day. Now I've tried all the different ones. I haven't tried any of that powder crap because that just seems absurd to me. I don't know. I don't think of a powder as an adhesive. I mean, I don't know. I'm no scientist, and I know chemicals work in weird ways, but it just doesn't seem logical to me. I'd rather use some sort of a paste. Anyway, yeah. So I've never tried the powder crap, and I've heard terrible things about it anyway. So, but I've tried all the other, the various brands and stuff, and I've come to the conclusion that the very best one, certainly the very best one that I have found, is Fixodent Plus with scope. Now you don't have to get it with scope. You could just get Fixodent Plus. But the Fixodent Plus with scope actually has sort of a minty, fresh taste and feeling to it. So, I mean, when you put them in, you just makes your mouth feel like you just brushed your teeth. You know what I mean? It makes your breath better. Dentures can sometimes have sort of an odor, and it helps cover that up. So yeah, I definitely recommend the Fixodent Plus with scope. But like I said, even without the scope, just Fixodent Plus is amazing. I mean, it really holds all day long. It holds very, very well. I can eat like anything. Now my lowers will not stay in at all if I don't use adhesive. I have to use adhesive on the lowers. The uppers will stay in for the most part without adhesive, but I still use adhesive because even though there's natural suction on the uppers and they stay in pretty well, if I were to try and bite into something tough, they wouldn't really stay in. If I were to bite into a steak or something, I might have a little bit of trouble keeping them in that way. So with the adhesive, I don't have to worry about any of that. I mean, the uppers, lowers both stay in perfectly. I can eat normally. I don't have to worry about them coming out at all. Yeah, I definitely highly recommend Fixodent Plus with scope. And like I said, it will hold all day long. Sometimes after a meal, it'll come loose a little bit, and in which case you can just apply more. It's not that big of a deal. But most of the time it'll last even after eating and stuff. Usually the only time I ever have to reapply the adhesive is late in the evening. If I put it on in the morning, by late evening, if I've eaten a couple times throughout the day, at that point I might need to reapply it if it's necessary. I mean, if I'm going somewhere or whatever. If I'm just going to bed, then I just take my teeth out. But if I'm going to be going out, or something, then I'll reapply it. But other than that, I mean, it pretty much works really, really well. So anyway, I guess that's it for now. Hope that kind of helps you guys out in your own decisions and stuff. But yeah, Let me know what you thought down below or whatever. Check out my other video. Check out my channel Random Awesome and my videos Toothless Karaoke and Toothless Monologues. Just a little comedy thing that I do without my teeth. No big deal, but check it out. Anyway, see you guys later.